Hola mi amigos! If while going through the corner you ever wondered, can I lean a little more or is it enough? This video is for you. Let's discuss how far we can lean on our bikes before we lose traction. Before we start, please put a like under this video and click the subscribe button. And also consider becoming a member of this channel. It'll give you access to exclusive step-by-step training videos. To know our maximum available lean angle, we should consider two main things. First, how much we can physically lean the bike before some parts of it hit the ground. For example, for cruiser-style bikes, typically you can lean them on about 30 degrees. Some models you can lean a little more, some a little less, but 30 degrees is usually a ballpark. On such bikes, you are pretty much limited by this angle. Once you are scraping parts, that's it, you shouldn't lean any further. If you try to lean more, you can lever your front tire up into the air, and it pretty much means your bike is going to end up on its side. That little available lean angle is a major drawback for cruiser type of bikes. On the other hand, you always have a clear sign of your lean angle. Once you scrape your floorboards or pegs, just don't lean any further, and you'll be fine. And in most cases, you can safely lean to this degree even in rainy conditions. Of course, when you are leaning and scraping, you can't brake or accelerate like you are on a straight bike. For cruiser bikes, it's pretty much it. You can lean pretty safely until you're scraping parts. After that, don't lean further and you'll be fine. Let's move on to another types of bikes. On bikes like sport bikes or sport-oriented nakeds or supermotos, you have much more clearance, so you can lean them much further. And how exactly much? That depends on how much grip we have and how well we can use this grip. Your tire's compound, temperature, pavement quality, suspension quality and setup, all this stuff determines how much traction you have. And your actions, how smooth you are on the throttle and brakes, and how well you control your body, this determines how much of the traction you can use. How can you improve your technique to corner better? With exercises, of course. For example, I personally like to use fast figure eights exercise. It makes you work on a lot of things simultaneously. Leaning, braking, accelerating, turning your head, you are doing it all in this exercise. You can set up two cones 40 feet apart and make a figure eight around them. By the way, if you intend to really push the envelope of this exercise, make sure you wear full gear, you'll definitely need it. And attempt it only after you practiced the whole slow speed course, because here you are definitely going to need very good control over your vision, counter steering, throttle and brakes. Go on first gear, keep your throttle slightly opened. Here you are going a bit faster, so you don't need clutch here, just release it and keep it released. At first, you can make pretty big turns around the cones. You can make them as big as you want, just make sure you are going fast enough to not stall. In this exercise, it's a very good idea to use the rear brake technique, which I talked about in one of my previous videos. As you approach the corner, close the throttle, but don't close it completely, leave it just slightly open, and to compensate for the lack of the engine braking, apply small pressure on the rear brake. And as soon as you want to accelerate, release the brake as you open the throttle. This way you'll achieve pretty smooth cornering, which will greatly help you on big lean angles. As you become comfortable, try to make your turns around the cones smaller and smaller by leaning the bike more and more. As you can see, you can achieve pretty significant lean angles after some practice. At these big lean angles, you are already on the edge of your traction, so make all your braking and accelerating really smooth. If you apply your brakes or throttle in a jerky way, one of your wheels will probably wash out. Before you get used to these lean angles, you'll probably drop your bikes a couple of times. I'm not scaring you, it's just the way it is. That's why you need to wear full gear. So maybe consider getting a training bike like this. When you feel comfortable doing all this stuff, you can add body position now. When you start to hang off your body from the bike, It reduces the bike lean angle for any given speed, which improves the work of the suspension, and this in turn increases traction. When you combine all the above skills, you should become pretty proficient at cornering, and after several low sides, you'll sure get to know your lean limits. Well, I hope that all makes sense. If I missed something, feel free to ask me in the comments or in our Facebook group. Have a nice day, thank you for watching, bye.